Where's that thing we had? Oh, you got it over there. There we go. Anyway, thank you. That's a little better. What do you think? Hey, look, for years they've been telling us to think outside the box. We got about 45 minutes to think on top of the darn thing. What do you say? We have to, because this world, as you well know, is changing and keeps changing, and your world keeps changing. If in the last year you had the joy of coming into your family a child or grandchild or a niece or a nephew, please raise your hand. Wow, that's a lot of folks. Congratulations. Serious scientists are starting to suspect that the life expectancy of those children born in a developed world in the last year. Now, you never know who's listening, so I want to be very clear what I just did and did not say. I said starting to suspect. I didn't say they're predicting it. I didn't say they're projecting it, and I certainly didn't say they're guaranteeing it. They're saying it just might be. But I did say serious scientists, not the supermarket tabloids. 140-year life expectancy? And at 120, they just might be the way we are today at 60. Now, if that sounds completely implausible to you, just take a look. 60 today is nothing like what 60 was just a few years ago. This is the millennium dream of humankind. Long life, fountain of youth. Be careful what you dream for. Anybody in this room, two things. At some point in your life, you had a dream of getting a recreational boat, and two, you actually got one. Please raise your hand and hold them for a second. Now, did the dream include cleaning that thing? How about writing checks to it? Was that part of the dream? So we get the dream of humankind, long life, fountain of youth. What's in trouble? Come on, there's one government program already in trouble. We live that long, it's really in trouble. Social Security. Longest chain letter ever written. What else is in trouble? Health care, right? And how about relationships? You are going to get married at 22 and stay with this person 118 years? Or worse. Get married at 22, divorced at 41, and pay alimony for 99 years? And then we hear people talk about, and some of us are in what's called the sandwich generation, sandwich between parents and children. But here I am, 120 years old. My 140-year-old parents are living with me. 100-year-old kids just moved back in. So we can have some fun with it, and it's good to have some fun with it, but let's not miss the serious point. Real change is hard. Real change is hard. And I want to say something odd to you. The smarter you are, the more successful you've been, the better educated you are, often, the harder it is to change. The harder it is to change. So all the success you've had and all the miracles you've pulled off can actually make it more difficult to change in the future. There's something about having succeeded in the old way that gets us attached to the old way. And it's hard to let go of the old way when the game changes. There's a myth in our culture that the best win is the easy win. Don't we have that myth? You know, just go to Hollywood, be discovered, and life will be grand. Ha-ha. Or how about this one? I know this is a sophisticated group of professionals, but I'm not the only one in this room who ever bought a lottery ticket. And I'm also not the only one in this room who ever did the arithmetic. Boy, it's a big one this week. $100 million. Now, if I took that over 30 years, I could make it. But I'd probably keep serving for a while, though. The team relies on me. Now, we do that nonsense even though we know our chance of winning that lottery is virtually identical if we don't buy the ticket. We know the lottery is, in fact, a tax. It's a tax on the mathematically illiterate. And we know that study after study shows that big lottery winners often get in financial trouble and almost always end up isolated and unhappy. I've come to believe there's more to life for the rest of us. Those of us who live our lives one step at a time with a rush forward here and there, they're fun, and a knockback now and then to give us a little perspective. 1965, one of my boyhood idols left Caltech, flew to Stockholm to pick up his Nobel Prize. On the way back, he stopped in his boyhood high school to lecture the kids in his high school auditorium. The returning Nobel laureate lecturing the kids. Afterwards, Dr. Richard Feynman, they gave him a stamp, went to the principal's office where the principal showed Dr. Feynman and his wife Feynman's high school grades. And as his wife later told the reporters, those grades were considerably lower than Dr. Feynman remembered them. Then they showed him his IQ. Dr. Richard Feynman, Nobel Prize, physics, IQ, 125. Now, 125 is a handsome IQ in most any walk of life, but not physics. It isn't even entry level. Coming from the point of view in our culture that the best win is the easy win, the reporter said to Dr. Feynman's wife, he must have been crushed. She said, oh no, he was delighted. And I said, well, why would he be delighted? He said to me, you know, darling, in the crowd I hang out with, and that is the way he talked, in the crowd I hang out with, winning a Nobel Prize for physics really isn't a big deal. But to do it with 125 IQ, that's something. And so I want to spend a little time talking about some things we can be doing. And I'm actually going to go over that table to do it. Now there's a problem. Those of you in the front here in a moment are going to think I left the room. But I'm still here. The old science said that the past creates the present. Add up all the past and you get the present. That make sense? That's why you study history. You add up the past and you get to know why we're here. And then the old science says the past plus the present gives you the future. And that makes sense. Kind of fatalistic, but it makes sense. But you know what the new science says? The new science says there's a lot of truth to that, but it's not the whole truth. The new science says the future also creates the present. That's not intuitive to me. What about you? The future creates the present? But think about it. Pick up the Wall Street Journal and look up any stock price. Is that a function of where the company's been? Yes. Is it a function of where it is? Yes. What should it be a function of completely? Where it's going. Where it's going. Or, you know, just take a personal example. If you're like me, you probably have a weight range. You know, sort of a range. For me, it's between 145 and 165. Now, where do I feel better and function better? At 150 gaining weight or at 155 losing weight? It's not just where you are, it's where you're headed. And the next thing is to understand that almost without exception in life, we could all find an exception. Without exception in life, the problems we make are a bigger problem than the problem we have. What we add to the problem in our reaction to the issue becomes a bigger problem than the problem. Unless we catch ourselves.